this is Ish. And one question I get asked a lot is how long should I meditate per day? So, honestly, the answer to this question really depends on what you're looking to get out of meditation. Because understand that everyone has their own goals and purposes for meditation. So, some people, for example, would like just to experience a slight break or gap in their day from their working day, and just a period of time where they can just let their thoughts go and then go back to work. So to them, meditation is kind of like a massage or something relaxing that you do before you go back to your day. And then for other people, they really like the mental effects of meditation, like the health benefits and how they feel. So they do it more from a health aspect because there are a lot of studies shown on how meditation can positively impact your brain. So they might have a different purpose. Other people would want to reduce their attachments to their daily life. So it's more of like a bigger thing now. So they're trying to now push away that external world and find happiness from within. So that's going to take a lot more practice. And other people would like to become bodhisattvas and help other people from suffering and liberation. So obviously there are different levels to this. And it's also like going to the gym, for example. Other people have goals. Some people would like to go to the gym just to for maintenance and rehab any injuries. Other people would like to go to experience the health benefits of getting stronger and more fit. Other people would like to get as muscular as possible. And other people are actually competing and training and becoming the best versions of themselves in the gym, competing on tournaments and bodybuilding competitions. So there's different methods there. But let's just start to define some general guidelines for meditation so I can help you. So the Zen master Harada Sogaku, he said that for beginners, an adequate time to sit is about 30 minutes at a time. And I generally agree that this amount of sitting is the perfect amount at a minimum that anyone should be meditating per day, because this 30 minutes can provide you a nice gap where you can just really tune inwards and get that relaxation you need. And I feel that if you meditate less than 30 minutes, you're really not getting any benefits from it. It's kind of like, going to the gym for 10 minutes or reading a book for 10 minutes. Sure, you can do it, but you're not going to get as much as you would if you just sat for at least 30 minutes. And I think 30 minutes is a good start for most beginners out there because it's long enough where you can just sit, meditate, and not feel burnt out. And you'll experience a nice little gap in your day and you feel pretty good. So that's a perfect start. Then the next step up is doing an hour a day, and I think that this is ideal for most people, and most people should strive to do at least an hour a day. Because when you're doing an hour a day, you create that nice space and time in your day where you can just meditate. You'll also notice that when you're in that deep introspective state, your external attachments are now starting to go away a lot stronger than if you just did like 20 minutes here and there. So an hour is perfect, and I think that this is the best amount. And then 2 hours a day is my personal sweet spot, and this is what I personally do. And you'll find that when you do 2 hours a day of meditation, you have less attachment, so it grows even more, so you aren't as moved by external things around you. And you get this really deep, spacious feeling. And this is, I guess, a point where your day-to-day, it's hard to describe, but your day-to-day activities are now starting to come from an inner perspective, an inner space, rather than you being reactive to the world around you. So this is where your actions are coming from within. And this is the nice amount where you're starting to notice this. And you feel a little bit more joy and more lightness in your body when you do 2 hours a day. Now, you can also do 3 hours a day. And I think this is, in my opinion, this is like the limit for most everyday practitioners, because you'll start to notice that when you start to do 3 hours a day, you are now neglecting other things in your life that you could be doing. And that's totally fine if you want to go down a meditation path or you want to experience more deeper experiences within. But if you're just doing meditation as just kind of like an activity rather than a way of life and the way of being, then this wouldn't really relate to you, because let's just say you have an 8-hour workday, then you have 3 hours of meditation after. It doesn't really give you time to work on your side business or just work on other things. So when you're doing 3 hours a day, this is kind of like the limit where you are sacrificing other things, but the inner space and inner spaciousness that you'll experience can arguably be argued as more fulfilling than doing those other things anyways, right? And when you do meditate 3 hours a day, you feel this really, really deep blissfulness and silence, and your life kind of takes on a more slower paced nature. And that's what I've personally noticed when you do 3 hours a day. And then anytime after that, so if you do like 4 or 5 hours, this is usually in a monastery or monk like meditation setting where you're actually like living there or doing like a retreat for a long time. So of course there are like meditation retreats where you'll just go and meditate for 10 hours a day for a couple of days, but I'm talking more so like on a daily practice. When you're doing more, that's usually because you are in a Zen, like actually living there in a monastery, or you're really getting into the Zen practice. So, the Zen monks at Antoji, which is a very famous Zen monastery, the monks there meditate 5 hours a day. And if you tally this up, this actually results to about like almost 1,800 hours per year. So they're actually getting a lot of meditation hours in per day. And when they do this, their life otherwise is very simple because they're dedicating such a concentrated amount for their meditation. Their other tasks are, their whole point, their whole world is centered around meditation. So their other tasks are carried out with simplicity, so not like solving like complex like math problems or anything like that. Because I think if you meditate for that long, you don't really have interest in that. And I've personally noticed that when you're in very high states of vibrations and you stay there for long periods of time, such as on a retreat, or you're just going to long like meditation settings, you just won't have the need to engage with the external world as much as you thought you did. So before, if you had this like big goal of owning your own bakery or becoming like this awesome businessman or woman, after a couple hours of meditation per day, like doing like 4 or 5 hours, you just really don't feel like it because your focus now becomes more on the internal experiences. So it's kind of like a spectrum. So on the very low end, when you're just doing 30 minutes a day, maybe an hour a day, meditation is more so like a break or something, a spaciousness that you experience while you go about your everyday. And then as you go deeper and deeper into meditation practice, your meditation becomes your focus. So your inner experience becomes your focus. And then the external things are just cherries on top. So they're just something that's like nice. And as you go really deep into the deep end, you're doing like 5 hours a day upwards, then meditation and inner experiences is completely your go-to experience. And the external world, like catching a movie or going to a bar or something like that, is just something that's a little sprinkle here and there. So very opposite to the other one. So kind of flips at the end. So those are just my recommendations, and feel free to try it out. I recommend, if you're just a brand new beginner, doing 30 minutes a day, but eventually working your way up to an hour to 2 hours a day. But let me know if you meditate longer than that and how you feel. Thanks.